You do not grow old because years have passed. You grow old when you stop listening to what your body is whispering. If you are over 65, perhaps you've noticed the small things, the way your body takes longer to wake, how your steps have softened, how silence feels louder than before. You may find yourself forgetting words you once used with ease or feeling tired before the day is done. These are not signs of failure, they are invitations. You may have wondered quietly, is this just how aging feels, or is there something I can still change? This is not a promise of miracles. I will not offer you youth again, but I will offer you something gentle, natural, and deeply rooted in both science and tradition. Cacao. Not the sugary drink sold in grocery aisles, but the raw, bitter essence of the cacao bean. For centuries, it has been used in rituals of healing and renewal. Today, science affirms what ancient cultures already sensed. Cacao, in its pure form, supports the heart, the brain, the mood, even sleep and blood sugar. But more than that, it offers us a quiet ritual, a way to return to the body, a way to begin again with softness and strength. In this conversation, I will walk with you through 7 gifts that cacao brings, each one grounded in research and felt most deeply when received with presence. Let us begin slowly. 1 sip at a time. 1. Heart health, supporting the rhythm that has carried you. There is a quiet wisdom in the heart that only time can teach. It beats through decades of joy and sorrow. It carries the memory of people we've loved and lost. It adapts when life changes, even when we resist. And yet, as the years pass, the heart often becomes a silent struggler, working harder to do what once came with ease. You may not notice it right away, just a slight shortness of breath, a feeling of heaviness after a walk that once felt light, or the quiet worry when a doctor begins to speak of pressure, vessels, or risk. But let me offer you something both simple and profound. Your heart is still listening, and cacao can help it breathe again. Cacao is rich in a group of plant compounds called flavonoids, especially one known as epicatechin. These compounds support the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, helping them relax and dilate, which allows blood to flow more freely. When the vessels open, the heart doesn't have to fight to push blood through. Its load lightens, its rhythm softens. A 2011 meta-analysis published in the British Medical Journal, which reviewed over 100,000 participants, revealed this truth. Regular consumption of cacao flavonoids was associated with a 37% lower risk of heart disease and stroke. It is not magic, it is biology rooted in daily practice. Most cardiovascular issues in older adults do not begin with the heart itself, but with the rigidity of the vessels. As we age, those once flexible highways begin to narrow and stiffen, but just as breath softens a tense body in meditation, flavonoids help soften those vessels over time. Now, I do not speak of hot chocolate with whipped cream and sugar. That is not cacao. That is distraction. True cacao is bitter, earthy, and alive. It speaks clearly if you are willing to listen. So how can you begin? Each morning before breakfast, when your body is rested, your vessels open, and your mind unhurried, prepare a small cup of pure cacao. Not more than 1 to 2 teaspoons of unsweetened cacao powder stirred into hot water or warm plant-based milk. Almond milk, oat milk, whatever feels gentle to your digestion. Do not add sugar. If you wish, a pinch of cinnamon or a drop of vanilla may soften the bitterness without masking it. This bitterness is not something to avoid, it is part of the medicine. Sip slowly, let it touch your chest before it touches your tongue. And as you drink, breathe deeply. Feel the rhythm inside you, not just the physical pulse, but the quiet thrum of life that still lives there, untouched by time. If you are on heart medication, speak with your doctor. Not because cacao is unsafe, it is gentle, but because any change in your daily rhythm should be made with awareness. For those sensitive to caffeine-like compounds, start with a half teaspoon. Cacao contains theobromine, a mild stimulant in the same family as caffeine, but much more forgiving. It awakens without agitation. And please avoid cacao products marketed as instant or creamy. These are not friends to your heart. They are distractions wrapped in sweetness. You do not need much, just a cup, just a few minutes of presence. It is not the amount that heals, but the consistency with which you show up for yourself. In a world that pushes us to fix everything quickly, cacao teaches us something older, something slower. Healing is not something we chase, it is something we allow. Let each morning be a reminder. You are not too late. Your heart is not too old. There is still space to soften, to circulate, to care. And sometimes it begins not with a pill or a plan, but with a bitter sip, a quiet breath, and the courage to believe that restoration is still possible. Let this be your first sip. Let this be your return. 2. Brain and memory. Nourishing the mind that still remembers. The mind, like the body, changes as we grow older. At first, it's small things, a name that slips away mid-sentence, a story you've told before, now missing a detail. You walk into a room and pause. Why did you come here? These moments can feel like tiny betrayals, not painful, but unsettling. And if we are not careful, they can begin to shape how we see ourselves. Am I still sharp? Is this the beginning of forgetting? But let me offer you a gentle reminder. The mind is not failing. It is asking for care. Science now tells us something that wisdom traditions have long intuited, that what nourishes the heart also nourishes the brain. And cacao, once again, becomes a quiet ally. Flavonoids in cacao, especially epicatechin, increase blood flow to the brain, particularly to areas involved in memory, learning, and focus. These are not just theoretical benefits, they are measurable. A 2020 study published in Frontiers in Nutrition followed older adults with mild cognitive impairment. After 8 weeks of consuming cacao flavanols, participants showed significant improvement in cognitive function, particularly in memory and executive attention. Why does this matter? Because age-related cognitive decline is not inevitable. It is gradual and often preventable, or at least slowable, with consistent nourishment. You see, the brain is like a garden. Left alone, it will still grow, but not always in the way we want. With care, water, and the right nutrients, even the driest soil can bloom again. Cacao offers that nourishment, but only if taken in its pure form. Each day, consider a small cup of cacao in the late morning, especially if your mornings tend to feel foggy. This is when cerebral blood flow naturally slows, and when a gentle boost can help your thoughts arrive more clearly. Use 5 to 10 grams of pure cacao powder, stir into warm water or unsweetened oat milk, no sugar, no syrups, just the earth, the bean, and your breath. If you wish, drink it slowly while doing a crossword, reading a paragraph out loud, or even just sitting by the window, not multitasking, but giving your mind one thing to hold, one thread to follow. And if you are someone who journals, let cacao become your writing companion. You may notice that words return more easily, that memories arrive with less strain. Cacao doesn't force the mind to be sharp, it invites it to feel safe again. For those sensitive to caffeine or stimulants, start with a half dose. Though cacao contains theobromine, it acts more gently than coffee. Its stimulation is clarity, not speed. And remember, the point is not to think faster, but to think deeper, to remain connected to your own mind with tenderness and awareness. When memory falters, it is not always a sign of decline. Sometimes it is simply an invitation to pay attention, to be here now, to stop rushing through your days, to sip, breathe, recall. With time, with presence, with cacao, the mind can feel like home again. Let this be your quiet return to clarity, not through pressure, through presence. 3. Mood and emotional balance, lifting the quiet fog within. Some days the body feels fine, but the heart is heavy. Loneliness visits without knocking. Worry lingers long after the news has ended. Even joy, when it comes, feels faint, as if arriving through a fogged window. For many older adults, emotional well-being becomes a quiet struggle. not dramatic, just a soft, persistent dullness, a feeling that the days pass but don't always land. But emotions, like the body, are alive, and they too respond to care. Cacao may seem like an unlikely answer to this, but let us look deeper. Cacao contains several compounds that directly influence our mood chemistry. Among them is tryptophan, an amino acid that helps the body produce serotonin, the neurotransmitter often called the feel-good chemical. Cacao also supports dopamine, which lifts motivation, interest, and emotional resilience. In addition, cacao contains theobromine, a natural stimulant that brings gentle alertness without the nervous edge of caffeine. It doesn't spike, it sustains. A 2013 study published in the Journal of Psychopharmacology found that individuals who consumed high polyphenol cacao daily for 30 days experienced increased feelings of calmness and contentment compared to those who did not. The science is clear, but the feeling is personal. A warm cup of cacao, taken in silence, can feel like a friend who doesn't need to speak. Just being there, warming your hands, softening your chest. It doesn't cure sadness, but it can hold you through it. If your afternoons tend to feel low after the morning energy fades and before evening routines begin, this is a beautiful time to invite cacao into your day. Use the same gentle dose, 5 to 10 grams of unsweetened pure cacao. Stir into warm almond or oat milk. Add a pinch of cinnamon if you like, but leave out the sugar. Sweetness in this case is not a flavor, it is a feeling that comes from stillness. Sip slowly. Do not distract yourself. No phone, no screen, just a quiet space where the cacao can meet your breath. Let yourself be warmed, not only physically but emotionally. Let it be a pause, a return, a soft anchor in a day that may feel uncertain. For those who experience anxiety or sleep trouble, it's best to avoid cacao late in the evening. Theobromine is mild, but still stimulating. If you're sensitive, keep your cacao ritual to before 3 p.m. and observe how your body responds. You are not weak for needing comfort, you are human. And even in your 7th or 8th decade of life, you are allowed to feel tender, to ask for ease, to receive it. Cacao reminds us that we don't have to fight our emotions. We can hold them sip by sip and allow them to pass like clouds through an open sky. Let this be your return to feeling, not through force, through care. 4. Antioxidant protection. Slowing aging from within aging is not the enemy. It is simply the process of time leaving its mark on the skin, on the breath, on the way we move through the world. But what ages us prematurely is not time itself. It is the damage that builds up silently, invisibly within our cells. A slow erosion from stress, poor diet, pollution, and years of unmet rest. This damage has a name, oxidative stress, and the small natural defenders against it are called antioxidants. Cacao, in its purest form, is one of the richest natural sources of antioxidants known to science. In fact, on the ORAC scale, a measure of antioxidant capacity, cacao ranks higher than blueberries, acai, or green tea. These antioxidants, particularly polyphenols and flavonols, help neutralize free radicals, unstable molecules that harm healthy cells and accelerate aging from the inside out. You may not feel this damage happening, but you will notice the difference when it slows down. A clearer glow in the skin, fewer aches in the joints, more energy in the morning, sharper clarity in thought, and most importantly, a deeper sense of resilience, as if the body is quietly saying, I can still repair. I still want to thrive. A 2011 review published in Molecular Nutrition and Food Research found that regular intake of cacao flavonols supported cellular defense, improved vascular function, and reduced biomarkers of aging and inflammation. But remember, the benefit is not in a single cup. It is in the quiet consistency of returning each day to something nourishing. To support your body's natural repair, enjoy cacao daily, ideally in the early afternoon, when your energy begins to dip and oxidative stress tends to rise after meals. Mix 5 to 10 grams of raw, unsweetened cacao powder with warm water or a gentle milk. Do not overheat. High temperatures can destroy the very antioxidants we seek. No sugar, no processed creamers. If you wish, a touch of turmeric or cinnamon can add warmth and an extra anti-inflammatory boost. And as you drink, think of it not as anti-aging, but as pro-longevity, a soft act of standing beside your body as it continues to carry you through this world. If you are already on antioxidant supplements or medications, cacao is generally safe, but always consult your physician when introducing a new daily practice. Cacao is not a cure, but it is a companion in the art of slowing down, not just the pace of life, but the pace of breakdown. Let it remind you that even now, your body still remembers how to heal. It simply needs space, time, and a little help from nature. Aging does not mean fading. It can mean ripening, becoming more grounded, more inward, more true. And perhaps with each sip of cacao, you're not just resisting age, you're honoring it with presence, with reverence, with life. 5. Sustainable energy. Awakening without agitation. There is a kind of tiredness that rest cannot fix. You sleep well, you eat well, but the body still feels sluggish, as if your limbs are heavier than they used to be, as if moving through the day takes more than it should. For many in their later years, this is the quiet fatigue of aging. Not exhaustion, but a thinning of vitality, a sense that the spark has dimmed. Often people turn to coffee, a quick fix, a jolt, but with it comes the crash, the trembling hands, the restless heart, the uneasy sleep that follows. Cacao offers a different path. Within cacao is theobromine, a natural compound in the same family as caffeine. But unlike caffeine, theobromine works gently and steadily. It stimulates without overstimulating. It awakens without overwhelming. While caffeine targets the central nervous system, theobromine works more peripherally, especially in the heart and lungs, promoting better oxygen flow and circulation. The result? A sense of calm clarity, not nervous energy. In a 2015 clinical review published in Physiology and Behavior, researchers observed that theobromine in cacao provided mental alertness and physical endurance, with fewer side effects compared to caffeine. That is the gift here, energy that feels like presence, not pressure. If you often feel a dip in energy during the late morning or early afternoon, consider cacao as a midday ally, not to push through your fatigue, but to meet it, to rise gently rather than react sharply. Prepare a cup using 5 to 10 grams of pure cacao powder. Stir into warm water or almond milk. No sugar, no artificial creamers. If you wish, a dash of cayenne or ginger can add warmth and circulation. Drink slowly without multitasking. Let it be a pause in your day, not a tool for productivity. Notice how your mind begins to clear but stays soft, how your body feels more upright but not tense, how you return to your tasks, not with speed but with steadiness. If you are sensitive to stimulants, begin with half the dose and observe how you feel over several days. While theobromine is well tolerated, each body holds its own rhythm. Do not take cacao too late in the day, especially if sleep is fragile. Its energy is subtle but real, and rest deserves its own space. This is not about fixing tiredness. It is about changing your relationship to energy. With cacao, you are not chasing energy. You are returning to it slowly, respectfully, in alignment with your breath and your pace. The vitality of youth may be gone, but there is another kind of strength that arises with age. The strength of rhythm, of patience, of calm focus. Cacao does not promise fireworks, but it does offer a steady flame, a warmth that carries you, a light that stays lit, even when the winds of age begin to blow. Let this be your quiet return to energy, not through force, through flow. 6. Muscles, bones, and rest. The strength to release rest is not just sleep. True rest is the ability to release, to let the muscles unclench, to allow the mind to unhook, and to let the body soften into stillness. But as we grow older, rest often becomes more elusive. The body tightens, legs cramp at night, the back feels sore after even short walks, and sleep, once deep and undisturbed, becomes light, broken, or slow to come. There is a reason for this, and often it begins with a quiet deficiency: magnesium. Magnesium is a vital mineral for muscle function, nerve relaxation, and sleep regulation. And cacao, in its pure form, is one of the richest natural sources of magnesium available. Just 2 teaspoons of raw cacao powder can provide up to 25% of your daily magnesium needs, depending on the quality of the bean. Magnesium works by regulating neuromuscular signals and calming the nervous system. It helps reduce muscle tension, lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and supports the production of melatonin, which is essential for deep sleep. A study published in Journal of Research in Medical Sciences, 2012, showed that magnesium supplementation significantly improved sleep time, sleep efficiency, and reduced nighttime awakenings in older adults with insomnia. But unlike pills, cacao delivers magnesium in a form the body recognizes, surrounded by natural fats, antioxidants, and warmth. It feels like food, like care, like a ritual. If you struggle with restlessness at night, try making cacao a part of your early evening routine. Not too close to bedtime, but around 5 to 6 p.m. when your body is beginning to wind down. Prepare it gently. Use 5 to 7 grams of pure cacao powder. Stir into warm oat or almond milk. Add a pinch of cinnamon or nutmeg, both of which support calmness. Avoid sugar. Let the bitterness remain. It too plays a role. Drink it slowly, perhaps while stretching your legs or massaging your feet. Let it signal to the body: you are safe now, you can rest. For those prone to nighttime cramps or restless legs, magnesium from cacao may offer relief over time. But remember, this is not a quick solution. It is a daily returning, a deepening. If you are already taking magnesium supplements, cacao is typically safe. But you may wish to reduce other sources to avoid excess. Always speak with your doctor if you have kidney concerns or are on medications that affect mineral balance. The gift of cacao in this form is not stimulation, but soothing. It teaches the muscles to release their grip. It whispers to the nervous system, you've done enough today. It invites the breath to slow, the mind to settle, and the body to return to its natural rhythm, one of peace, not pressure. So if your nights have become restless, don't fight the darkness. Sit with it. Let cacao accompany you. Let it become the warmth that welcomes the stillness. Let this be your quiet return to rest, not through sedation, through surrender. 7. Blood sugar and insulin, a quiet return to balance. There is a balance inside the body, delicate, quiet, and easily disrupted. It is the balance of sugar and energy, of insulin and resistance. And for many, as they grow older, this balance begins to shift. You may notice it in small ways, feeling tired after meals, craving something sweet even when you're not hungry, or hearing new terms during your doctor's visits. Pre-diabetes, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, these are not failures. They are signals. The body is asking to be listened to be supported, not punished. And here again, cacao offers a humble hand. Cacao flavanols, especially catechins and epicatechins, have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, helping your cells respond more effectively to the insulin your body already produces. This means that sugar is absorbed more efficiently into cells, reducing blood sugar spikes and lightening the load on your pancreas, a system that often tires with age. A 2012 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that regular consumption of high flavanol cacao significantly improved insulin resistance markers in both healthy adults and those at risk of type 2 diabetes. But the key lies in the word regular. Not intense, not extreme, but steady daily support. If your goal is to support healthy blood sugar levels, the timing of cacao matters. The best window is usually mid-morning or mid-afternoon between meals, when your body isn't actively digesting but may benefit from a gentle metabolic nudge. Prepare your cup as before. Use 5 to 10 grams of unsweetened, pure cacao powder. Stir into warm water or plant-based milk. Do not add sugar or syrups. The purpose is not pleasure, but balance. A touch of cinnamon may support blood sugar further and add warmth. Drink it mindfully.